Good morning, everyone. Today is the 18th of June. This is Brad Matheny. This is the Plan Your Trade video for Wednesday, the 18th of June. We are moving kind of into this flagging sideways pattern that I've been talking about for a couple of days after we rolled through this deeper move, broke away just slightly, and then stalled. This big breakdown last week with the Friday, the attack on Iran through Israel's and Iran conflict kind of sent the markets down into a rolling kind of a top. Now we have the Juneteenth holiday tomorrow. Markets are closed. I had to remind myself this is a new holiday, not on the regular schedule. I mean, it is, but it's just new to me. Been in the markets for 30 years and got a new holiday that popped up. But again, we're looking at really kind of sideways market moves. Today's cycle pattern is let's come over here and get it, is a gap potential in bullish trending with short-term trending being in warning. We are in bullish daily bias, bullish weekly bias. We are in a trend mode. Now, a gap potential indicates that we could move into a fairly strong gap today. Looks like maybe a little bit of a gap higher. Free market is 598.38, up just a little bit. We're still fairly early. We got an hour to go before the market opens, and we could see this market move. Now, again, breakdown levels, I kind of think this 596 and 592, 593 area would be a fairly critical breakdown area. So if we get below, say, 592, 593, I would think that we'd be looking at a fairly solid breakdown, trying to move back down into this 595 area. But again, the way the markets are acting, the U.S. markets are acting as kind of a reserve capital and a reserve, a hedge against risk. So understand that really the markets, what they're doing is they're moving into a, kind of a sideways stalling pattern where I believe capital is still trying to hedge against global risk by rushing into U.S. dollar-based assets. We'll kind of see how it plays out. QQQ, same like yesterday, rolling into that sideways trend, looking for a gap potential, really looking for this breakdown mode. Here we have the breakdown out here. Carry these out a bit. So, we're really looking at a potential breakdown, around the 529 area, around the 525 area, 511 and 504. So we will see. We're currently right now at 530.30, little bit higher on the NASDAQ, little bit higher on the SPY as well. Could very easily get a breakdown pattern today on some news, economic news and or global news related to Iran-Iraq conflict. As I mentioned to you yesterday, I think that whole Iran-Iraq conflict is going to move into kind of a let's settle this mode, or essentially, I don't perceive it as lasting many, many months. It could. I think that the process of this conflict could be over in 7 to 10 days and could be into negotiations at that point. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But again, right now, think of the U.S. markets acting as a safe haven. So unless we get some really ugly economic news or hard asset breakdown, think of this as more of like a roll over top. And remember, we have my July 18th low setting up, which is over here. And, so we could have some kind of a move like that moving back downward over the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. We'll see if this sets up and if this confirms, but, looking at this rollover, this breaking of the standard deviation channel as kind of a potential rollover breakdown into my July 18th low. Okay, gold and silver. Silver had a big move yesterday, contracting a little bit today, holding up above 37. I'd like to see silver hold up above 37. Silver's starting, or gold is starting to hopefully make a move here above 3,400. We shall see. The gold and silver cycle pattern is a top resistance pattern in a trending mode. Bullish breakout pattern, a top resistance pattern. Normally, come in here and get rid of these. Normally, a top resistance pattern is something where it moves up and rolls over, or potentially moves up and stalls a bit. That would be a typical type of a top resistance, a rally up into resistance and then stalling. So same thing here, top resistance, maybe setting up like right over here. Get rid of some of these. So you see how we have this, rolling peak coming up like this. That could be a kind of a top resistance already setting up overnight, or we could continue to get a little bit more of a rally up and roll over like that. Typically, top resistance patterns are a rally to resistance, then a rollover, and then a move away from resistance. So, gold could easily come back up, try to find some support up here in 34.50, 34.60, 34.40. Silver could easily try to come back up into this 37.50 area, try to find some resistance up above that area and roll over. I really do believe that $37 area for silver and that 3,400 area for gold are going to be the support levels. So, if I could highlight this, I would tell you right now that, this level, I believe, is going to act as support for gold, and that this level right here is going to act as support for silver. So we're going to see how this plays out, guys. Bitcoin, come back over here. Bitcoin is down 29. Still rolling through my my flagging pattern and my broader excess phase peak pattern here in blue. I'm going to get lots of drawing in here. Let's get rid of some of these. Okay, so where we're at with this, we've broken this excess phase peak pattern flagging formation, moving back downward, trying to get below this flagging low, which is going to be very important in my opinion. If we get below this flagging low, we're looking at a big breakdown to the downside. Currently, we are in this kind of a D phase, I believe, of the flagging pattern here. You can see we've come up, we pulled down into an A, B, C, D, moving back down here. Could get this breakaway, breakdown mode, kind of like this, possibly sending us down into this consolidation pattern. Really, this low here at 103,500 is still very valid and would very likely be our critical level to the downside. The move back up above this, call it 109,500, would be our upside move. And so you have the range there. As long as we stay in this range, that we're kind of still in this flagging formation. Now, volatility will likely become very excessive out over here. So we could get a lot of volatility here. FYI, this could be in a very big range. A lot of big volatility over here. So pay attention. We could get some very interesting moves. Again, still moving into potentially my July 18th low. If we did get a breakdown over here, hypothetically, if we broke down over here, we could move down into the July low that I've been predicting, fairly easily, guys, back down into the 90, 90,000, what have you. That would be 92, 93. Let's take a quick look. Yeah, about 93. So we'll just put this over here, low, possibly around 93,200. So give you an idea of what I think possibly could happen. Looking for maybe a little breakdown here, setting up into flagging. NASDAQ may lead the market, or sorry, Bitcoin may lead the NASDAQ. We'll see how it plays out and kind of go from there. Okay, so we are going to see what the markets are doing today. Watch for a further breakdown. We're up a little bit right now, but again, watch for a bigger breakdown in the market here. Watch for kind of a rolling topping pattern today, indicating a potential downward, melt down kind of a move. Not a very aggressive move, but like a melting downward. And again, holiday trading tomorrow, so be prepared that we're going to have a break tomorrow, and I will see you back on Friday. Talk to you guys later. Get some.